Tom, thank you very much for those remarks. Seems to me that he still worked his way into the state of the conservative movement, didn't he? Which is a good thing. I am pleased to be here at the Virginia Conservative Leadership Conference to talk to you on the topic of Homeland Security. It's my pleasure to be here with you. Let me give you just a sense of some of the background of this, and then I'll run through some of the significant issues, and then I guess Tom and I'll take Q&A for a significant period of time. My degree is in foreign policy from the University of Virginia, Russian Area Studies. I'm a United States Army veteran. I joined the Army and went to Germany as an intelligence agent. I spent time studying terrorism issues when I was at the law school at the University of Virginia. As governor of Virginia, I traveled to 3 continents, 12 countries. Much of it was trade, but much of it also was diplomatic, as a matter of fact. I have visited Afghanistan, Israel, Pakistan, and spent a great deal of time thinking about these issues. Perhaps the best work that I did was the chairman of the National Commission, the National United States Official Commission on Homeland Security and Terrorism. I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit. After 3 years of that work, as a matter of fact, and 3 years of reports to the United States Congress, the President, and others, I was the governor of Virginia, right across the street here during the 9/11 attack, and took the decisive actions that was necessary to protect this state during the 9/11 attack. So that gives you a bit of the sense of the background. Because time is so short and this topic is so extremely elaborate, let me be as summary as I can be on the topic so we can elaborate more of it on questions and answers. I was approached during the Clinton administration when I was the governor of Virginia because I had just chaired a national commission on the internet and sales tax issues. Probably the most demanding, unpleasant thing I'd ever had to do. It was a commission that had been set up officially by the United States Congress, I am convinced, for the purpose of getting a report out there that said we were going to load big taxes on the internet. Well, funny thing happened on the way to the Pro-Tax Internet Commission. I was named chairman, and we ended up with a commission that said there should not be taxes on the internet. But it was an extremely demanding multi-year commission, very, very complicated and very angry because many liberal pro-taxers had been put on the commission. So we had quite a struggle and quite a fight. Well, having come through that fairly successfully, I was approached by the United States government and asked whether I would chair a National Commission on Homeland Security and Terrorism. This is 1999. I assure everybody in this room that in 1999 there was no discussion of Homeland Security in the United States of America. No discussion. But the Congress was uneasy. They felt there was a possibility of an attack of a weapon of mass destruction in the United States. And they wanted a group of people to come on board and put together a multi-year commission in order to address the issue. The people that went on this commission, as unpleasant as the Internet Commission had been, this was an extremely pleasant commission. The people who went on it were police, fire, rescue, emergency services, retired general officers, intelligence people, healthcare people, epidemiologists, and others who would have to address the issue of America's preparedness. 1999, we assessed the threat. We issued a report to the Congress and the President, and we said, there's probably not a high likelihood of a weapon of mass destruction attack in the United States, but a conventional attack in the United States, the attack of a bus, a helicopter, a train, a conventional explosive by a terrorist group in the United States from overseas was highly likely. And then we better do something. We needed to have a national program and a national plan in order to address this. Nothing happened, of course, so then we went on the second year. In the second year, we issued our second report in the year 2000, and we said, well, a year's gone by, there's still no national plan. So we'll set down the parameters of the national plan and talk about the necessity of the national plan. The third year went by, nothing happened. Nobody paid any attention. So we wrote a final and third year final report in which we said, okay, nothing's happening, we'll write the plan for you. And we think that there are some issues that really must be addressed. And they were basically 5 areas that we thought were very important to the national security of the United States and the homeland. How do you use the state and local people? and make sure that they're recognized as the first responders and the people who in fact were going to show up right at the time of the attack and be prepared to respond. What do? They're not tied in any way. They don't know anything about what's going on in terms of intelligence or information. How do you get them tied in and trained and prepared and equipped? Number two, healthcare. What happens if there's a biological attack in this country, or even a pandemic, even a flu pandemic? Are we prepared in terms of national health policy? Number three, cyber terrorism. What do you do when you run an entire society on computers and the enemy disrupts the computers? What do? Can you respond? Do your traffic lights work? Can you communicate? Can you in fact send material and information? What do? Fourthly, the use of the military in the homeland. For conservatives, a very serious issue. What happens if we just don't prepare and we end up with a major catastrophe and we decide, that the president decides there's really no choice but to simply go to martial law? And what do? Is that really the case where we want to be? And we had a long fight over this issue about how you use the military in the homeland. The conclusion of our commission, of course, was that you don't use the military in the homeland if you can possibly do it. You keep the troops off the streets and rely upon the state and local people and make it clear that the troops are in support of the state and local authorities. And you don't go to martial law. And finally, border control. Just as Tom was talking about, we identified it way back before the 9/11 attack as a serious challenge about what we were going to do to maintain the sovereignty of this country and worry about the issue of people bringing either weapons of mass destruction, drugs, or explosives across the borders, or people who would overstay their visas and be in danger to this country. Those are the issues. We addressed them all extensively. You can read them yourself on the RAND Corporation webpage, rand.org. We issued the final report. Several days later, 9/11 attack happened. I was the governor during the time. I've been thoughtful about this for many years. We called immediately the Emergency Operations Center and set it up. Called immediately the National Guard and put them on alert. Called immediately the state police and put them on alert. Warned them if there was evidence of gunplay anywhere in Virginia that the Central Operations Center needed to be notified. Got across Capitol Square, right across the street here, to the governor's office in time to see that the second state attack that day was Virginia, because the Pentagon's in Virginia. We responded, not the federal government. Police, fire, rescue, emergency services, Fairfax, Arlington, Alexandria. People poured in from around the country. Montgomery County, people came in everywhere in order to deal with the issues.